Had to leave everyone in suspense there. Welcome to another week of High School Rocket League, where I always like to just to push the line, where we actually starting, weren't we? Yeah, no, we were. My name is Formal. Joining me has been the man who's been here for every single one of these this semester, Foxy, coming on in, and now I'm the new one. I'm not used to being the new
Yeah,
new one here. That's unusual for me.
yeah. It's just like I'm the teacher all of a sudden, and you're the student.
Boy. Well, teach me then. What's been going on these past couple weeks? Because we're already in the fourth week into this last term of the year. It's been a larger competition, a different format. We've been going full round robin, and best
Yeah,
of threes instead of best of fives.
yeah. A lot more action that way. Each team basically gets 19 rounds to go through, and I mean Newstead College is 16-0. They had a couple of scary games a couple of weeks ago, but they've been going through pretty easy. And I mean, the biggest match of all for them is at the end of the day where they'll play second on the ladder to see if they can go undefeated for the tournament. So that'll be interesting to see. But a lot of playoff contention games that'll be happening today and should be exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how this plays out. Obviously, I'm still going to be learning about some of these schools, but I'm seeing some names that I'm excited to watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, having gone to Ballina High School, I see Lismore up in there playing in our fourth game of the day, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
curious to see how competitive they are. It's still, though, it is a high school league. I'm expecting, some variancy. I'm expecting some games to be a lot closer than others. Either way, with 5 matches, though, we're going to get like little tips and tad bits all across the league.
Yeah. I mean, some of the games are more interesting than others, but like last week we had players not show up. We had 2v2s, we had a 3v2. It got very interesting at the end, but the the most exciting match of the day was probably the 2v2. We had a 2v2 match because two players, one from each team, didn't show up, and it became a 2v2, and it was actually the most exciting game of the day. So
Something about twos.
maybe change 2v2 for RLCS.
Maybe I'd rather see us go 4v4 than 2v2, get more players in, not
Yeah,
less. Either way,
yeah.
though, before we do get into our games and before we do get too far into this, I believe we have some sponsors we should
Oh
be
yeah,
thanking right about now.
absolutely, of course. And the first sponsor, of course, is Acer Predator Gaming. They're our presenting partner, as always. We see them every week, and providing all your gaming and education PC needs and powering the high school league. So thank you to those guys. ViewSonic, the education partner, who also have the big, large interactive display that the winner will get. Upgrade your classroom today with ViewSonic's large format interactive display and the MyView board software suite. AOC Monitor, the gaming monitor partner. Get the best gaming experience with their range of gaming monitors. So thank you to those guys. And Rig Gaming, the gaming headset partner. Experience great sound with Rig's gaming range of headsets. So thank you to all of our partners who are able to do this fantastic league for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, a big thank you to them always. A lot of them, reoccurring sponsors that we've seen a few
Yep.
years right now. The ViewSonic board, though, if we want to talk about like the prize in a little bit more
Mm,
detail, I had a chance to play with one of those a couple months ago. They are so amazing. It's like when you watch, your sports shows and you get like the color analysts who are like drawing the
yeah.
circles. It's all of that plus like more. There was like even more things that I didn't even get into with it. Like they're sick.
The caster's dream, innit? We should
Mm.
just buy one each, just have it behind us so we can analyze the plays.
Exactly, and then bill it to BK personally to send
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, BK.
Thanks, BK, mate.
Thank you, BK,
Thanks.
for sending that over to us. I'll be expecting it by Christmas. Clearly, that is when we need it. Look, it looks as if players have been making their way onto the pitch right now. I'm seeing 6 names.
Yeah,
It's high
pretty good
time we
now, I
kick
think.
this one off.
Let's go, boys. Here we
So,
go.
Linwood versus Temple, our first game in this. Linwood currently in fourth place overall in the standings, a 13 and
Yep.
1 record. This could be one of the teams that we could be seeing, fighting in the finals.
Yeah. This is one of the teams that we'll see fighting in the finals. If you ask me, I think that they win last season. I'm pretty sure they won last season or got to the grand final at least. And they've been looking very consistent. The one team that they lost to was the team that's currently 16-0, and they have been pretty pretty much every game they have won, they've won 2-0. The only game they struggled was against a really, really good side who are favourites to go all the way. And this team does rotate perfectly. And you can see right there as Matthew nearly gets it off at the start. And I mean, they've got 3 players who are ranked C in six-mans. And I mean, that's a big thing, because that shows that they have the rotation to be able to play with players who aren't necessarily their teammates. And that's a huge thing in these leagues.
Yeah, and then it means, in my eyes, that your buffer into getting to where you're actually playing as a team becomes that much higher, because it's like, okay, you come in with some already knowledge in the game how to play individually, but then as you play more with this trio, you'll get stronger and stronger, and it essentially just raises where that ceiling could be. Their opponents, however, TCC Ghosts, another 14-1 team, the Temple Christian side. This is like why this matchup is so intriguing to me, because these are two teams, again, we could see them playing in the finals, we could see them playing again in the semifinals. This is almost like a warm-up match here on the last day of the season.
Yeah, it seems like we've gotten lucky with the first game today, because this one, as DeCloud gets through and scores the first goal of the series in this best of 3. This one looks like it could be the best one of the day, as you got 2 really, really good sides that, as we're saying, should get to at least the semis. This could really be a grand final preview, depending on what goes on with the other teams. But yeah, that's exactly it. We've gotten really, really lucky with our first game today.
Yeah, no, so this is definitely going to be a fun one, starting off strong, just like the Temple side, as they were able to find the first goal. Still, though, pressure coming from Linwood. Aqua backboard, doesn't have anyone across the middle, however. Both of the other attackers were going for side boosts, opening up the middle of the field. Fortunate that wasn't a counterattack.
Yeah, I was about to say they just completely left it open there, but Matthew's really good at these. He has been all season, and he gets that perfectly. You can't give him that much time. 1-1 for the Fizz 6 superstar.
I can't even say that was boost, not ball in that situation. The defense had time to get there and react, but Matthew, a little bit proactive, I'd say, with that jump, is able to find the goal. Tie ball game, 1 apiece. Aqua now looking to set up through the kickoff. Not going to find too much there as both these teams get settled. This is where I almost get a little bit sad. Like, a lot of the series, I feel like the best of 3 is justified with the skill discrepancy we see from top to bottom. However, when we get a series like this, this is the one where I want to go 5, if not 7.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. But, I mean, I do like this best of 3 format because of that. You get these little really, really good matches. And then, I mean, with a round robin and having 19 teams, there are games that are going to be ridiculously out-skilled. It's not like a double elimination or anything like that where it's seeded and everything else. You're going to have a first versus 19. I think the best of 3 was the smartest thing for the lads to do in the admins, and it really does give us a good... everyone's going to have bragging rights because everybody does eventually play everybody throughout the season.
Yeah, and you're going to run into teams and players that, like, I think you are going to be eventually, well matched against as well. Plus, I like the idea of getting as many series in as possible for these players. So, 4 weeks, 19 best of 3s. It's a lot of Rocket League. We really did put these students through the gauntlet, and, well, the cream has risen to the top. Exactly. It's a 6th season. And I hope next year we see even more of this. Again, High School Rocket League on the rise.
Good shot.
Matthew's shot, that's up there as well. 2-1 lead, well placed for the second goal.
Yeah, Fizz 6 have done really well picking up this lad because I'll say give it 12 months and he could be in a top side if he continues to grind the game the way he has been. Really, really good individual player, as you can see from this. Oh, Nelly gets it. And Matthias tries to get through as well. You can see he's got that little bit of individual prowess that a good player needs, but also knows where he is on the field as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, I love the confidence for going for plays like that, especially in tighter situations in important series. It is something that you have to be looking out for when you're sort of starting to piece together, your higher skill teams. And high school esports can always become that gateway. I always see it like you have your AEL high school league. From there, maybe something like ODL when you start to scrim and play with players that could be a little bit older, perhaps. And then from there, you get your Rocket League, RLCS bubble teams. But it all starts from making a name for yourself here. So go for those big plays. Be that little bit flashy. We'll see where life can take you. Shot, though, is going to break the defense. Posting in tied with 21 seconds left.
I think he thought that was missing. I could have a look at the play here. He genuinely, I think Aqua genuinely just kind of went off the play thinking, yeah, that's going to hit the wall. And it just rolled in off the side. And we've got a tie ball game, 21 seconds to go. And we really do have the closest game of perhaps today. And we've already had it and 15 seconds to go. And could be going to overtime, game one, unless we see something happen.
I'm okay with game one overtime. We'll see if the players are. Matthew looking for Aqua, who's cheated up, doesn't quite get the touch. I liked the play. I liked how open they were. That said, ball hasn't hit the ground just yet. It's actually going to be Temple keeping it up. A little surprised with that. Ball does not make it to the corner, however, and we go to sudden death.
Yeah, so this is a big, in a best of three, this first goal is just massive for confidence and massive for just the series in general. You've got a best of three. You've got to score this goal if you're on either of these sides.
Yeah, it really adds, I think, some extra pressure. There's no real buffer game in a best of three. I'd argue there shouldn't even be a buffer game in a best of five, but best of three doubly so. Either way, unique. Having a little peek from underneath, won't commit to it. Matthew just all the space up top to drive that one back to the opposite corner. And I think that's beneficial because Linwood should have been able to gather boost. I wanted to see a midfield challenge. That wasn't it, though. Matthias kind of lets it get behind them.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something from Unique God. He's been very, very good this season at being an individual player and getting those individual plays to get them over the line. And just this first game has just been more of an assist type of player, just staying at the back. If he can get himself some opening and get himself some room like he is now, get a bit confident on the ball, they might be able to get an opening. And it's well saved by Matthew again.
Yeah, that was a big-time save right there off the backboard, diving save. Pressure still coming from the Temple side, although they're going to have to back away for now. Aqua leads the charge. Matthews tight spacing, gets thrown off by Wrinkly with the demo, and that will give Tempo another crack at it. The Cloud got the 2 goals in regulation. This time tries to pass it back to Unique God, who hesitates. Aqua with the punish, can't keep it straight.
This one comes over to Matthias, though, and it's just going to go straight back to Unique God. We're nearly 2 minutes into game one overtime. He is still none the wiser. This one's going to come back to DeCloud, and Matthew is out of position now, and that's scary, but he's going to get back in time. Matthias with a chance to score, and it's a good save by Wrinkly, who actually finds Unique God with boost, but Aqua with the demo probably about 20 feet in the air.
Yeah, that was a scary exchange. I thought for a moment this game was over when Unique God tries to pre-jump and the ball rolled underneath. Wound up working in favor on the Temple side, however, because of abandoning the safe plays, it was able to save the boost, keep it forward, and eventually it's turned into this attack, which now gets countered. No, Matthias misses and then gets demoed. That could have been it, and instead we continue.
That demo was massive as well, because he was onto that. Even though he had 0 boost, he was the front man. It would have been hard for them to save that. And it ends up being knocked away by Matthew in the end. We'll restart with Unique God. Aqua does get to that. Chance for Matthew to win it! As that one doesn't quite get enough power on it. He wants that one back because that was a massive chance for Matthew.
I mean, Matthew, though, again, just even going for that play shows a level of experience and, like, in-game maturity that I'm not really used to seeing at the high school level, so it's good to see coming again from this Linwood side. Off the backboard, this could be it. No! Ball pinballs everywhere, somehow wounds up with the Cloud. One attacker to beat, but wasn't able to get over Matthias, who will get the redirect and end this one 3 minutes into overtime. Well,
if there was one player that I thought would score in overtime, I didn't think it'd be Matthias. He's a very defensive type of player, and he found his spot, found his time to pounce, and Linwood take game 1.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a little bit of overconfidence at the end on the Temple side. Like we saw it in the replay, all 3 members pressing forward next to each other. So, of course, you're going to go for a dunk in that situation. It's free real estate. The worst that can happen, you still have your 2 other defenders rotating back.
And then you just rotate back, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely see from the scores as well. Matthew with 718, dominating on the lobby at the moment and looking very, very good for the new Fizz 6 player.
Yeah, super strong showing, super strong opening. Linwood now up 1-0 in this series, and it's crazy to say we're only 1 game away, although if you've been watching this high school league, I don't know, you're probably used to it by now. I'm the one who has to get used to it. I'm kind of more speaking on my own behalf there.
It's funny because a lot of these games rather will have a lot of goals and games take forever, or we go to overtime and games take forever. It's like a caster's nightmare.
You can't. What happened to our nice, easy 1-0? What was?
Oh, what the?
The classic 5-player commit.
That was a save, wasn't it? Matthias just hit him in the back, which kind of saved it from being a soft touch into the goal. That was really weird.
This is not looking good for Linwood.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unforced
done.
errors. You got the demo up front. That's going to be the goal. I mean, this one started with the double commit. You can see the tail end, and it was all over after that point.
Smart play from DeCloud, though, to recognize that. I mean, a newer player mightn't recognize that and kind of just try to stick with the player instead of sticking with the opponent, and goes right in the opponent. Easy open goal for Unique God. And what a goal from Matthew! Ooh. Oh! Wow.
Yeah, again, Matthew given space on the corridor. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure in a majority of this competition, Temple's thinking this one's going to come through the corner. We can make the play off the backboard. Matthew instead cuts it off and just delivers it down the middle. Tie ball game.
Yeah, they got to watch themselves with being open with Matthew. If they put 2 players on Matthew, they'd be better off. At least that way they're getting him out of the play, but Unique God does well there to get rid of that because Matthew was getting onto that one too, and he really is becoming. I mean, I don't know if we do a player of the tournament award at the end of the tournament, but he's up there. He really is. There's a few good players like Zav is a good chance, but Matthew has definitely been the most consistent. And that's a good shot from DeCloud, who puts him back in front on game 2. What a pass from Unique God, who's starting to warm up.
I would also argue DeCloud could be making a running in this series as well with that redirecting shot. Even in game 1, DeCloud was the name on the Temple side catching my eye. But to go back to your point about like the player of the event, there's nothing official, no, but Zav has been someone who's been in a few of these now and has frequently stepped up in that regard. So it's fun to see more challenges, I think, going their way. Aqua, nice save. Matthew, tried to slow play that, actually wound up giving up possession, and that should have been a shot.
Good demo. It was a good demo, though, and it's created maybe a play as Matthias ends up putting it back in the middle. Unique God does get to it and will get to it again, however, won't get to it a 3rd time, and it'll be knocked away by Matthew.
Ball getting centered. DeCloud. Can't get it past that midfield line. Good play by Matthias, who actually will stay with it. Through the corner we go. Aqua wanted the shot. It will be left for the 3rd man, which is Matthew, popping it forward. Good read by Unique God. Demo down the pitch. It's open. Wrinkly had to put it straight, and instead cornered it.
I think he ran out of boost just at the worst time when you don't realize. And that's another good shot from DeCloud. And this is becoming Unique God. Pass to DeCloud, score goal. That's how you win these games.
Yeah, DeCloud's so good at these quick shots of coming off of the passes right now. Definitely a threat, and it's a different kind of threat than like a Matthew. Matthew very much the type to slow it down a bit, go for the dribble, go for the mechie play. DeCloud, this is a true striker at work.
Yep. He's playing like Foxy. It's exactly how I play. Just screw the mech stuff, just put it in the net. That's how he's playing, and it's working perfect. And that one, I was about to say Aqua was kind of out of boost in that situation. Does get back into it, and Unique God will knock it away. Very smart lad. And 2.5 minutes to go, 3-1. We could see a game 3.
I'm still looking to see the player now that best represents myself, but I'm not seeing anyone completely whiff it and then fail the recovery and wind up spinning on their hood. So, I don't know. Maybe that'll come in a later game.
Don't worry, we'll see that by the
Yeah,
end of the day.
that comes later. That comes later. For now, right now, 3-1 lead in favor of Temple. They're trying to push for that game 3. It's looking more and more likely as this attack gets sustained right now. Aqua can't get the distance on that touch. Wrinkly tries to center it, and that would have been a nice...
It was a smart play.
It was.
Oh!
Ooh.
Just chance there for Unique God, and I said he is very good with those. He's inconsistent with them, but when he gets going, and he's starting to warm up a bit, especially with the 2 good passes that he's had in this game that have put them in front. And a minute and a half to go, and they're going to have to start pushing here. And Matthew with a good pass. There we go, Matthias. Matthew with probably the best pass we've seen, and we've seen a lot of good passes in this game, but this one tops them all.
It was certainly the best pass from the Linwood side. That could go undebated, and yeah, Matthias, it was just perfectly placed. They could have put that ball wherever they wanted to in the goal, crossing up the defense, back within 1. Still plenty of time for Linwood to equalize this game. My eyes, though, are on the cloud. Situations like this!
Oh!
Razor's thin line gets it done.
I tell you what, that anywhere else in the net, and that's saved. That is perfect from DeCloud, who's just on fire. Everything's going his way. 3 goals for the lad. But it's been the Unique God show as well. He's just hit a playmaker with 3 assists. Every single time he touches the ball, it goes right to DeCloud.
Yeah, the 2 of them just on point with each other, and that's how come they're looking at a 4-2 lead. Possibly make that 5-2. Aqua has got the save. Wrinkly already there, though. Backboard. Left for Wrinkly. Again backboards it. Matthew down the middle. Makes 1 miss. Can't get past the cloud. Second touch will be the dangerous one,
Bang.
and it's a 5-2 lead.
Absolute bang. And should I say, Unique God with another assist? 4 on the lad. 53 seconds to go. And I mean, do you believe in momentum in a best of 3?
Yes, I mean, just because I believe in momentum in the game of Rocket League. However, I don't think this is crippling momentum. I still think this 3rd game actually could be quite up for grabs, especially if Matthew can get space again like what we saw earlier. The big problem has been, though, this Temple side are so good at these long, drawn-out attacking plays. Their offensive rotations have been on point, and as soon as they get that ball rolling, it's really tough, it looks like, for Linwood to flip the map.
Yeah, it looks like it's like they're playing territory more than actually trying to go for shots like Matthew is. They kind of just sit. See, they just kind of they take so much boost off their opponents by kind of just playing the territory game, and that's a good chance for Matthew, but not quite. Matthias over the bar. We're going to game 3. Ooh, I mean, Temple favorite surely.
After that last showing with the way how DeCloud is playing, I would have to agree. 4 goals from DeCloud, 4 assists from Unique God, 9 shots for the 2 of them compared to the 3 from Linwood overall. I know Matthew was still able to get, 1 of those goals in. Mateus as well got the other, but unless Linwood gets better at flipping this map, it feels like it's going to be a Temple Christian win.
Do you know what I like about that game too is that Wrinkly kind of stayed back and only had 78 points, but in game 1 was kind of overcommitting a bit and recognized that. So in game 2, he stayed back and let the other 2 lads do what they know that they can do, and they ended up thrashing it. So maybe that's the best way to go. Just see how he's going back and letting them play the way that they know, and then not overcommitting on the play so that he's back for Unique God in that situation. Very smart, knowing, recognizing the skills that you have to not necessarily overcommit.
I agree. I mean, it's just knowing the team dynamic and what your role in the team is going to be. And that's not to say Wrinkly had 0 impact in that last game. There's a few moments, particularly on the attacking side, when the others were rotating back for boost. Wrinkly did a good job in just jamming up and delaying a lot of the defensive clear attempts. So I've been impressed with Wrinkly. I've been impressed with all the players on the Temple side.
Good
That's
save.
a good save from Wrinkly as well. Speaking of the Devil, coming up huge in that situation.
See, that's worth a goal right there. Like he obviously, I think he knows that he's not as airily as skillful as DeCloud or Matthew, so he knows what he's good at, and that's staying back and defending. He's been doing that all season. He's been doing it perfectly. And Aqua, good goal, 1-0. Stayed up for about 5 seconds, and nobody challenged him. And now Aqua's on.
Neat God attempting the squishy right there, more out of desperation because of the situation. 1-0 lead for Linwood to start off our third game, and Aqua's been relatively quiet for a player that I think has more in the tank, at least that can be shown. It's not all the Matthew show when it comes to Linwood.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I hate the old cliche, but that first goal is massive, and the reason why being that they had just lost 6-2 in the previous game and were looking just outbeaten in that second game. So that just changes the perspective of them. They've scored the first one. They've gone, okay, we've got this now. We can do this. And now they can play to the way that they want, as DeCloud says no and puts in 2 demos for himself to start an opening for Temple.
I mean, we would hope that would be the case, although still a lot of time left for Temple, and my eyes are on that duo of Unstable God as well, getting the save. See if we can find those setups right now. Wrigley, again, is going to have to try and buy as much time. Triple commit out of the defense could open a doorway here. Matthew recovers.
Smart recover as well. He's really put himself in a lot of open room here. Maybe an opening. Comes back to Matthias, who hits it into the wall. DeCloud will get onto this, knock it away. 2.5 minutes to go. And Unique God misses that one, leaves an opening. They both hit it. Crossbar twice and knocked out. Oh, that was pinball.
Yeah, that said, though, open net miss. Maybe this team is RLCS ready already.
Yep.
We'll see where we go.
Put them on ground zero.
Yeah. I love it how we have many RLCS teams right now fighting for that, missed open net crown.
Yeah, true.
Because there's also, don't forget Lake Show.
Lake
Show's up in the running as well.
Yeah, apparently I'm Lake Show's #1 fan, according to Hunter. He said the other day, he said, oh, Matthew, gets through, interrupts me. What a shot here as he gets through. Not only that, DeCloud, unsavable because Matthew was sitting there and pushing it in himself. 2-0 to Fizz 6.
Yeah, that was just a straight dribble down the center. Your Lake Show's #1. I thought you were a fan of Power.
Yeah, I'm a fan of multiple teams. I have multiple tastes. But
as you should.
Oh, Unique God! Oh my! Puts them back in the game with 1:49 to go every single time I talk about RLCS.
Exactly.
Surprise me, and that right there is an absolute bang. That's the fastest goal we've had today, and 1:49 to go on the clock, and this has become exciting all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think we just got to keep talking, keep name-dropping RLCS teams, and then they'll bust out, some RLCS level plays. I don't know. Do we have a Pioneers play in you, Matthew? Do you have the recovery? Almost!
He nearly did. He nearly had a Pioneers play on him. That would have been very Pioneers-like as they get through, slow it down, and then got that extra touch but couldn't quite get it. And 1:30 to go, and Wrinkly tries to find Unique God, and that's all 3 players jumping up for that one. They're panicking. 1:15 to go.
I mean, you have to be a little panicky right here again for Temple. They're trying to equalize. Unique God underneath gets the goal, showing that it goes both ways. DeCloud drops it, and Unique God finishes it.
Well, yeah, let's reverse it and put DeCloud passing and Unique God shooting, and all of a sudden 2-2. They've come back from 2-0 down. They're going to be excited. They've got a massive chance here to take them over after being 2-0 down, being 1 game down in this series. All of a sudden, could be 1 goal away.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. I feel like next goal, regulation or overtime, that's winning this one out today. 52 seconds on the clock. It will be Temple with the first crack at it. It's open, and it's in. DeCloud takes the lead.
Oh, they've come back from 2-0 down. This bump right here on Matthew, just completely puts him in a Rule 1 at the perfect time. 48 seconds to go, and They've taken the lead from 2-0 down to take it 3-2 Temple. All of a sudden, upset on the cards.
Yeah, this is the exact kind of game we would want to start our day. 40 seconds, pressure on the Linwood side now. They've been so in control during this third game until this past minute when it's come apart. Can they bring it back, though? Matthias leading the charge. 1, 2 defenders there. Wiggly misses. DeCloud misses. No! Mathis saves the open net!
And then DeCloud goes up the other end and wins it for Temple. Oh, it is the worst of situations for Linwood. They save their own shot, go up the other end. Unique God to DeCloud. I think I've said that about 700 times this series. Has just won it for Temple.
New fastest goal, 142, but my heart goes to Matthias in that one because that's how you're starting your day as well. Look, the hard work was done, but sometimes in the process, things get a little tricky. And hold the phone.
Okay.
Matthew, there's your pioneer play.
Yeah.
Can they bring it back?
Yeah, it was a pioneer play with the Goomba to end it, which kind of put Wrinkly in an awkward position. Couldn't quite get it. Gonna need a big kickoff here. You need that big kickoff to go your way. Aqua's gonna have to go for this. He does. It's a good pass, but well defended. 5 seconds to go. They're gonna have to go end to end. They can't do it. Ball's gonna bounce.
Oh.
Not quite as it's kept up at this one. Surely will Temple Christian create the upset. Matthew's not happy with that one. Insta leaves.
Yeah, you gotta leave, you gotta refresh. I mean, that was a tough series, and it looked like Linwood had their opening. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep their morale together, keep the momentum going, because they still have several more games left to play today. As for Temple, however, hard work is done. They win their first tough series of the afternoon. We'll be curious to see how well they go from here.
Yeah, I mean, that's their big series right there, in my opinion. They were 14-2. I know there's a few teams that are 16-0, and there's a 16-1, which is now 16-2 with them losing that game there. That's their second loss of the season. Major upset there. And Linwood have been looking really good later on in the season. Couple of losses, but they've gone from at about the start of the 3-week mark, I was saying, yeah, there's probably 2 or 3 teams that could win it. Now there's about 4 or 5, and Linwood is one of them.
Well, good news for all the Linwood fans out there because we're going to be seeing them again. So maybe they will get their redemption. Their next match is going to be against the Pacific Hills Christian School. We're going to be throwing to a break while we get that one set up. But when we return, we'll be straight into that action, dare I say. So don't go anywhere. More of this Rocket League when we return. I am not timing things correctly. I tried to click, cut back to us. I accidentally mute us 3 times. But that's what happens when we get abandoned by producer BK. Instead, we're here, though. It's time for our second matchup, another showing of Linwood. That's right, they're back. They're going to be going up against Pacific Hills, and if they thought their day was getting easier, well, maybe a little bit, but Pacific Hills, they're also a team looking to run roughshod of the top 8.
Yeah, and I mean, Pacific Hills win this, and it's mathematically impossible for them to not make the playoffs. But this is also just one of those big games for Linwood as well after losing that last one. Just confidence-wise, going into playoffs next week, they can't be losing games against these teams that are kind of equal to them in skill. They've got to start just even though they're already in playoffs mathematic-wise, they need to win these games just for their confidence, I think.
And the seeding, and there's a lot that goes into it, so it'd be very nice for them to get that win. That said, they also need to bounce back after what was a tough loss. A lot of eyes on mine. It's going to be on Matthias in particular, whether or not they'll be able to bring it back. That said, players are jumping to the pitch, so too shall we for game number 1, series number 2. I have forgot to change the names either way, so I'll let you go play-by-play to start this one off.
Yay, play-by-play, yay.
That's good. You just yell a lot. Trust me, it's easy.
Yeah, it's perfect. As Aqua does get that to Matthew, they're definitely. I mean, they're looking to pass it a lot more. I know it's only been 15 seconds, but you can definitely see that they are looking to pass it a lot more than what they were last game. I think that they know that they can beat this side. They know that they're, I guess, a little bit more skilled than them. But saying that, I mean, their confidence is a bit low after that last one. Who knows? As Aqua gets into that one, nearly does. Chance here as that one slowly goes in from Matthias. Just a lot of pressure. Ball was up there for 30 seconds. No boost. Matthias gets the goal.
Yeah, that was, if we were worried about Matthias perhaps being a little bit off from the ending of that last series, that's a good way to get that momentum back. 1-0 lead for Linwood. Names in the right places. Everything running smoothly right now. Jobs saved, at least for the time being.
Yeah, you can keep your RLCS job for now.
That wasn't the one I'm worried about. it's this one.
No, they're watching. They're watching. No mistakes.
That's unfortunate. Len, off the backward right now. I hope, it'd be cool if, we had at least some RLCS teams watching along, scouting out, figuring out who maybe they'll have to look to pick up in the future.
I mean, Pioneers really pick up young sides, and Super Lucky's getting old. He's getting old. What is he, 16, 17 now?
Almost 17, not quite there
Almost.
yet. But, that's over the hill.
That's too much for Pioneers.
Exactly. Practically another Walcott right now, right? As we watch Lem go against Matthew across the middle. Matthew winning it out. Matthias will play it forward, unable to spike it down and in.
Pluro into the side as they do get a bit of an opening here, as this one could be a big chance, but it's well saved again by Matthew. Aqua gets a demo as well, which could create a chance for them to go up the other end, but not quite. Knocked away. Back to Matthew into the wall. This one will come back, but Matthew won't quite get to it in time. Maybe a turnaround for Aqua. He does see it. He does turn around, and it's just off.
Yeah, a little bit too high, to state the obvious. Still, Matthias is going to keep the pressure there. Matthew unable to find the spike. Double commit, though. And it actually works. I don't know how Specs got through that traffic, but because of the bump in the back corner, no one was there for the strike.
Yeah, the bump actually stopped it, or else they were in, and that was a chance for Matthew and Matthias as well. Couldn't quite get to it. Comes back to Aqua, who can take his time, gets a little touch on it. Good touch as well, and a good pinch that'll knock it away. Spec in an awkward position, puts it into the corner. This one could be a chance, and it does go up. Comes back down, and Matthew, who has been scoring them all day, just knocks that one to the side. Doesn't quite get it on target. 2 minutes to go, and that's a good play. Surely an opening for Matthew. 2-0.
Yeah, there we go. That got me a little nervous because it looked like neither Matthew nor Matthias really had the boost there. And
they didn't.
That was the worst speed flip I've ever seen. So, fortunately, they did get to the play. They do get the goal, and Linwood is up by 2.
Yeah, it was the first time I've seen a speed flip actually lose speed.
Yeah.
instead of just driving forward, and didn't quite get the landing he wanted on it. That's a good flip, and couldn't quite get that one on target. But 2 minutes to go, and you can see the difference between the two sides. It's just consistency of keeping the ball in that half. It takes away a lot of pressure when they just kind of get rid of it, like Aqua's been doing. Just get rid of it, put it back onto your half, and create a dunk or something like that that keeps it on that half. They haven't been able to really get anything attacking-wise. That's a good play, but couldn't quite get anything as Matthew was there.
I think it's the confidence is the big difference for me that I'm seeing out of the Linwood side. And it's not just the attacking confidence. Like, Matthew looking for shots and looking for goals is fantastic. Great touch by Aqua to put that one in to make it 3-0. Aqua, though, is kind of the player who I wanted to talk about. Sorry to just kind of keep going right here. I want, like, people to pay attention to where the third member usually is, particularly when it's Aqua on the Linwood side. They're playing forward, like pretty far forward, more forward than what you might be comfortable with, but because they have the confidence to rotate back on defense, and it's the same kind of confidence that they have to go for the goals when attacking. They're playing like they know they are the better team.
Yeah, and do you know what stops that?
Demos.
Booming it up there.
Oh, that's
just get it back up there and try to create some type of play. And when you do boom it up there, aim for the goal when you do it.
Yes.
I know that you're on the other side of the field, but there's just so many times when after you've boomed it, you've gone, oh, wait a minute, the goal's open. If you just aim for the goal every single time that this type of situation happens, that one goes straight down, not quite. If you aim for the goal on these type of situations where there's kind of, you've got a chance to get the ball, but it's on the halfway line, if you just aim it towards goal, 90% of the time it will go in because they're playing so confident, and the best way to get rid of that confidence is to score goals.
Yeah, that said, though, I don't think it's in the nature of Pacific to go for these booming touches. I mean, Specs we've seen before a couple times now, looks a lot more comfortable with more of the slower touches and maybe staying with that. I mean, you got a boom right there. That's because Flora was pushed forward, and that could be another avenue, maybe going for those deep passes to play off the booms. But for the most part, unfortunately for Pacific, they seem like a team that wants to be more the methodical approach, the slower approach. But when you're the slower team, that's not always an option.
Yeah, a sign of a good team is one that can change it up on the fly, and kind of see who they're playing against game one and try to change it. I mean, that's what happened against Linwood in the last game with Temple. Temple realized that and decided to play against it. And what happened? They came back and won 2-1. And if they can change it around Pacific Hills, maybe they're a chance. They got to start booming it a bit. I got a feeling that that's the best way to get anything from this game is boom it into the back wall.
Well, let's see if we can get those strong defensive touches. That's what the doctor has ordered for Pacific Hills. First touch, well, it was a lighter one across the middle, and Lem, they're waiting. And again, slow playing it, and it gets beaten out. Third touch, though, is good, and Floro gets the first goal of the series for Pacific Hills.
And that was from aggression. That was from aggression as well, because the third man actually came up to this and decided to go for it. That was aggression if I've ever seen it. If Matthew gets onto that ball, that's 1-0 up the other end, but that's good confidence right there. That's a good start.
I mean, it's a good start because they got the goal.
It's dumb confidence, but it works.
I always feel bad criticizing those situations. And again, I don't even think it was the third member's fault right there. Specs was the one who was just sitting. All right, forget what we were talking about before. How does Matthew constantly find these top ins?
Yeah, I think that he realized that Lem was already dropping at the time and just kind of said, okay, if I can get some kind of touch on it, maybe it'll go in, maybe it'll go off the top and there'll be an easy tap in, but it does go in. And I mean, Matthew definitely is the X factor in this team. We know that, but they've got to, teams have got to recognize that. And we saw that last series, and we saw the turnaround because of it. Teams have got to recognize that that's better. You got to recognize that when Matthew's on the ball, do not give him the time to do that type of stuff and get yourself back in the game. And Matthew does get back in time for that one.
Specs, though, putting in work to keep the attack sustained. Beat out, not one, nearly beat out the second attacker until, well, winds up getting behind the team in blue. Specs, again, it's a slower approach, not a bang, and Aqua's already there. That's going to keep this attack sustained for now. Lem, gets, I want to say a little bit lucky being on Matthew right there. It's just a really high bounce. No one able to control the ball for the time being. Backflips to control the car. Matthias makes it work, gets a dunk. This could get dangerous right now. Still is a tied game. Matthew wants that lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because it seems as if Fleur and Lem have recognized that booming's the best option. Specs just seems to here's a chance for Aqua. Oh, open net missed. It was open, but if he hit it on the middle or the right side, it would have been saved. So he had to try and hit on the left, couldn't quite get there. And
With
Matthias,
well.
big shots.
What? Oh, that's awkward from Specs.
Yeah.
He just kind of bops that one in. But
He's
again,
going back towards goal.
Yeah, I mean, Matthias just got all of that touch, though, and Specs was in an awkward position. 2-1 lead for Linwood. Still over 3 minutes left. However, Pacific Hills, it felt like they really needed to get that momentum going from the first goal. It's already sort of been lost, and I'm worried that they won't be able to find a second.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew's looking very, very good now. And that one nearly goes in. Oh, my, that would have been an angle and a half, but it didn't quite go in. And it definitely looks like now you can tell that the ball is just staying in that half. They're getting so confident now because they're demoing players in the goal. You don't want to give them this type of confidence. And I mean, in my opinion, this confidence, I know it's very monkey style, as they say. But this confidence could be what wins them the season if they continue to play this way.
I agree.
They've got to have this confidence, or else teams like Temple that we saw before will play over them because they'll have the time on the ball. If they don't give them the time on the ball, if they get these demos in on players who are getting the ball and kind of monkey their way through it, they have the mech to win this season.
It'll be interesting to see for sure. I mean, at the moment, though, what's kind of making me a bit sad on the Pacific side is we haven't seen more of those bang attempts. Like, that was better because you had Specs pushing up the pitch, and that was the touch that we wanted to see. More of that. Unfortunately, it's coming behind with 100 seconds left on match point against themselves, so we'll see if they can keep that going. Lem, unfortunately, too far forward, has to rotate back, crossing it up. Matthew already waiting, centers the ball. Specs tried to bang it, didn't go as far as I would like, has to follow it up, and eventually the defense should be able to corral it.
Yeah, I think that, as that one's gotten open, not quite. It's going to go right up in the air and make it a bit awkward as Aqua does get to this. He does have time, doesn't quite. 1 minute left on the clock. I think that by playing it slow, you're definitely playing it into Linwood's hands, especially Matthew's hands. The one thing that, that one's just going to go in. I have no idea how, and I don't know how Matthew gets awarded with this goal. But he does. Matthias never touches it. It goes in for 3-1. We'll call it a fake. We'll call it a fake for Matthias.
Yep, it was a fake, and unfortunately for poor, I believe that was Lem who was on defense there. There was three options that could have happened, like Matthew, Matthias, or no one touching it, and it was the no one touching it play.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but not playing the boom against this Linwood side just plays into him so much because Matthew does play aggressive, and he's the one player who is the X factor on this team. I know that Matthias and Aqua are very good players themselves, but the win condition is definitely Matthew popping off, and having Matthew be such an attacking player that he is, getting a boom puts him out of position, puts him out of the play. Teams need to recognize that a bit more, because Matthew, if he keeps playing like this, they really are a chance at that ViewSonic board.
That would have been a goal. That would have been 4-1. Instead, we finished 3-1. Linwood gets that win. The Matthew show continues to roll on. They're 1-1 currently on stream, 1-1 on the day as well. And for Pacific Hills, they're still one win away from getting to those playoffs. They'll probably find it in an easier match.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they will get there in the end. They look consistent defensive wise. They just got to get up a bit more and get a bit more attacking play when they need it. And unfortunately for them, they couldn't quite do it against a better side in Linwood there. But they did try, and you could definitely see that they do have the potential to make an upset in playoffs.
Yeah, I think they will have that potential, and it'll be exciting to see what they can do if they can get themselves to the best of fives, the best of sevens. But for us, well, we have to continue along as well. Looking ahead, our next matchup is going to be Portland Secondary College taking on Gladstone Park. So do stay with us. Our third match, the middle match of the day, when we do return. There we go. And look at that. It was not on time at all, but we're still here. One of these days, we'll get everything synced up properly. I'm Formal, still joined by Foxy, about halfway through our day. And obviously, a lot of games in the top of the ladder have the seeding implications, teams trying to qualify through. This upcoming match, Foxy, this is a big one because these are two teams on the bubble where a loss could send their season spiraling out of playoff contention.
This is the big one for especially Portland, but Gladstone Park as well. Look at that scary 8/9. There's about 3 teams at the moment that are pushing for that 7th to 9th bubble, and these are 2 of those 3 teams. So we could be looking back at the end of the day, looking at that final standings and going, this is the game that matters.
Yeah, this could be. I mean, again, it's another matchup too with 2 teams that on paper should be evenly matched. It's another game with 2 teams that should have a lot to play for, so we should be expecting them to see them go their all. And as a result, predicting a winner, it feels kind of coin flippy. It's sort of who's shown up on the day, and I don't have the results, sadly, of like how they have gone so far playing today individually. We'll see how they look though when we get to the pitch. I don't know. Either way, the players are making their way down to the ground. Our camera though is actually staying up high for the time being. On the blue side is Portland, in orange it is Gladstone, and we are underway.
Yeah, this is definitely 2 teams that are evenly matched, but because they're both throughout the season been a bit inconsistent, we know that they're good teams. We know that these 2 can definitely show off at times, but there's just some times where they've lost games that they should have won, and they've won games where they should have lost. Both teams have kind of been like that, and that's what this round robin competition is like. It's hard, and Approved Actor tries to gamble that one, couldn't quite, but that's the nitty gritty of these best of 3 round robins.
I don't know if I should laugh or be mildly offended with Jay Hoggins' skin right now. Nothing against the French, but everything against the lack of Australian representation in the World Cup cars.
We saw what I thought about on Twitter about that. I was very upset.
New Zealand has a car.
Yeah, I was waiting until 3 in the morning, and I was like, I know that Socceroos are Adidas, but you've got all these random. Oh, that one's just going to go in, I think. It did eventually. I think it went in at about 12 k's an hour. 105 apparently, so yeah. I lied. It must have been a big bang.
It's a bang from point blank. Yeah. But
fair enough.
That's going to be in 1-0 lead for Gladstone. I still want to talk about that. I still want to talk about being, ripped off. You know what? Okay, but here's the question for you. What's worse? Having no skin or a skin with as much effort put into it as the Wales car?
As the Belgium one or anything like that?
Too.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'll keep my custom skin that I usually use.
There it is. They're always better anyways.
If there was an Australia skin, I'd probably have to change to the Octane, and then you get the ugly Octane, and it's like, I mean, maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that we're not in it.
Maybe.
But it would have been. It would have been nice to at least have as that one goes in for 2-0, to at least have the Australia to have the banner, the profile banner.
See, that I could get behind. That would be that's all I need, or a flag. I like having team flags that I support. Either way, though, there is a good look at the French car right there, not done by choice. I also think we saw an Argentina car.
Is it Mexico? No, your Mexico car. No, that's Nigeria, is it?
Is that
that one there?
Oh. Yeah, that one is
a Nigerian car.
And then I believe on the opposite side, though, KLXR, I think, is rocking to Argentina as well. So a lot of World Cup support, which is because the World Cup starts. I should know. It's tomorrow, correct? Or is it today?
Tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, what's today? Today's Saturday. Yeah, I think it's Saturday night over there. So yeah, maybe early in the morning for us tomorrow.
Fair shot. Well, that'll be exciting. Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be exciting to watch, and it's cool seeing, the support being shown of various different countries from our players in this league. A chance to make it 3-0. The second touch from KLXR was enough to put it through.
Especially with, it's like Rocket League's become Ancestry.com at the moment as well. It feels like there's a lot of teams showing their players showing their, I guess, their true colors and stuff like that. Like I was going around in the Germany car yesterday, being half German myself, and it is interesting. It's kind of like, it is really like, especially with these younger players, it really has become like an ancestry.com, since there is no Australia, so people have to choose other countries.
Well, it's just it though. Australia is wanting to become, I would like to believe, a melting pot of cultural diversity, and it's cool to see that represented in games like this. I need to get on that ancestry.com. I think I'm mostly German as well, just based on my name.
I have no idea. Your last name.
Yeah, it's very German, but I have no honest idea. 3-0 lead though. Gladstone. That third goal was pretty special. Approved Actor's going to try to make it 4. What a cross up! Unfortunately, the shot was wide.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get there in the end, but definitely looks like that that Gladstone Park are on today. Last week they had a few games where they were looking a bit shaky at games that they really should have won but weren't. But they are looking a lot better today against a team that is even to them on paper, but at the moment they're just outplaying them.
Yeah, they were. I mean, we saw a lot of that mech being the reason, and this player right here, KLXR, has kind of been the standout show maker. 1 minute left, though. 3-0 lead. Approved Actor towards the backboard. Sets up KLXR underneath. Defense gets in the way. The problem being, it's been all defense right now. Quick look at the stats. 9 shots to 1 as we approach our final 45 seconds. Still only 3 goals.
Not only that, but the reason why it's been all defense is because I swear that the ball has been on that half for about 90% of the game. And territory is just massive in this game. And you can see right here, that one might go top corner. It does. And that just makes it worse. No, they had to go for it. It was 40 seconds ago. It was 3-0. They had to go for it, but it just made it too much of an opening. Good demo. And I mean, 4-0. Too easy.
I mean,
that was easy at the moment.
They had to work for that. I mean, Approved Actor did work for it. Now, that goal is too easy. That gets the too easy stamp, 5-0.
I guess the OCE stamp. These young kids will be in RLCS soon with a goal like that.
Yeah, it's the patented power kickoff strats, just hit it straight in. That's what Jimma teaches them, right? 24 seconds left in this one, 5-0 lead. It will be Gladstone taking game number 1. Portland's going to have to try to bounce back here in the second game. And first step for them, finding ways to get out of defense.
Well, here's their chance here as that one just knocks off to the side. He had a weird angle. Couldn't quite get to it in the end. But, yeah, I mean, Portland, you can see, do have decent rotation. They know what they're doing. But mech-wise, they're just getting outplayed at the moment by Approved Actor, especially, who's just got that little bit more of a experience in game, and is definitely looking good for Gladstone Park as they take a 5-0 lead game 1.
Yeah, Approved Actor, KLXR as well, I think, was kind of my standout player in that one, not just because of the hat trick of goals, but how they were scored. A lot of sort of technical car control in front of the net, as literally as in front of the net as can possibly be. That's where Gladstone's been slowing it down. So going into this next game, we'll see if Portland will be able to bring it back. And look, I'm not one to play the rank game and things like that, but you can sort of see the experience differential when you have, GC tournament winners compared to Dynamite tournament winner banners. They don't mean much, but they help paint the idea of how one team probably a bit more experienced than the other.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not necessarily to do with skill either. It's like, if you're so used to playing in a diamond lobby, the rotation is a lot slower than those in said champion or GC lobby. Not just rotation. I mean, look, I agree with you. Is there rotation in Diamond?
No. No. I as the Diamond player here, no. There isn't. Rotation starts. It's been a while. Champs. Yeah. I've played in Diamond, I've played in Champ, and I've played in Plat lobbies, and I can say the rotations don't start until the Champ lobby. Diamond, it's still, there's one player trying to rotate and 2 players who are ball chasing on a team, as compared to Platinum, where it's 3 players ball chasing on a team. And as you go up in the ranks, you get rid of 1 ball chaser.
I got lucky. I was Diamond back when pros with Diamond. Like back when the game was,
Back when Diamond meant something.
yeah, that's legit. Nowadays, GC means nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting.
How many players we've got.
And I actually get asked that sometimes from players. Like, I want to go, like, pro. What's the best avenue to do it? I'm GC right now. And my next question would be, like, cool, are you, like, playing with, like, regulars? Are you scrimming? Have you joined six-mans? Think of what you want with that server. It still is a good place to sort of find other like-minded players of a similar skill level and play in that competitive environment. Those are the steps that I feel like a lot of teams need to take. That, and obviously events like this as well, to get used to that competition.
Yeah. I think events like this are the number one thing in my opinion. Just because you get that type of, not only do you get experience of gameplay, but you also get experience of casting, like being casted and being on the big screen in quotation marks. It gets rid of that nerves later on when you are on stream for a bigger tournament. This is a big tournament. This is for an $8,000 My View board. But, for those bigger tournaments, when you do grow up and you do get yourself a pro team in the future, you'll be like, oh, I've done it before. That one nearly goes in. You can say, oh, I've done it before. I've already beat him. I'll be fine.
Yeah, and not just that, too, but, like, when you play in a competitive environment such as this, it's learning how to play as a team with the team as opposed to playing for yourself, I suppose, in the more solo environment.
Awkward.
That's very awkward. And that's why you need to learn to kind of work and talk and discuss with your team to avoid situations like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I think that Jones, Jay Hogan didn't expect Jones to kind of move down on the wall. He stayed straight because he thought, okay, Jones will... okay. It happened again.
I don't know if Lucas moved. I'm a little worried about that one. Oh, no. Lucas did move.
He did.
And then stop.
Yeah, that one's just... That one, he realized what had happened at the start. But that's another thing as well that you get with these kind of skill things is that kickoffs as well, you'll realize that in professional play or anything like that, everyone knows how to speed flip. Everyone knows how to, do that kind of stuff. In this league, you get that difference between a player who just kicks off normally and one that will speed flip. I mean, those who know me in the way that I play, I've never speed flipped on it. That's a good goal from approved actor. That's a good one. That was nearly unsavable. I think that Hogan didn't quite have the boost. Didn't expect Addison to just come flying in and then gets faked as well on the process. 3-0, and this one's looking over.
Addison kind of hid the reset, just timing-wise. That's not something that's intentional, mind you, but it worked out luckily in their favor. It's now another goal. Yeah.
Good goal. That was a good one of the bunch because he recognized that Addison didn't have the boost or the position, jumped up on it, and that takes a lot of smarts to go for that type of ball. That was well played.
I'm a little bit surprised watching Gladstone play right now that they've had the struggles that they've had during the season. I'd be curious to see some of their losses if this wasn't one of the teams that were having, studies affect performance in like maybe a 2v3 at times or something like that, because from a mechanical skill point, like they are doing some very dynamic things on the attacking half.
We could see, this could be another team that could create a huge upset in the playoffs. That's the huge thing about these playoffs and all that, is you just got to get into the playoffs and you give yourself a chance. There's no... there's an advantage of being first. You get that cool seeding and everything else, but there's no advantage. You just got to show up on the day, and the team in 8th can win the entire thing. We just don't know until next week.
Exactly. It's all about, getting to the dance first and foremost, and that's something that, having watched Gladstone play this series, I'm confident they're going to make their ways there. Unfortunately, on that opposite side, I can't really say I see the same confidence in the on that opposite end for
they got an opening here.
They do. They got the goal. Hogan's going to find it, but yeah, it's just it's been a tough one for Portland.
Yeah, they're definitely frustrated. They're definitely frustrated about it because you won't be able to see spam nice shots. So they're
Yeah.
very happy that they managed to get a goal in. But yeah, that's the thing is now they're going to be worried about the other teams that are kind of crawling as a prove actor gets to that one and kind of ends the series there. But they're going to be worried about sweaty fellas who are going to be right behind them coming into the end of the season, where both teams at the moment are pretty much going to be even with one game to go in the season for them. So it's going to be scary for them too.
Is what is save spam considered jovial if the defender does it first?
No.
No.
I kind of see it as if
That's
you're as that one goes in as well. I see it as a rage quit comes in. We don't see those very often in the league.
Ooh.
As it seems to me like that type of situation there, it's all jokes because they're literally, they know for a fact that they've been outplayed in this game. They finally find a goal, and you know, you might as well have your little 5 seconds of celebration. Man. And then a prove actor spamming it afterwards was because they spammed it. I see that
that's what I was saying. Like, it's joking.
Yeah.
Like if the what is save spam is started by the defender, I'm a lot more okay
toxic.
with it then.
It's toxic if it's the other way.
Exactly. That's the Brazil. Granted, again, we did have like that rage quit situation, which best not to focus on. I will, though, throw in my 2 cents. See your games through to the end. It's an important skill. Finish what you started, even if it's going against you. Either way, though, 7-1. We got the Brazil scoreline. We don't have the Brazil car. In fact, instead we have Argentina. Either way, though, that's going to do it for this one. Gladstone Park wins the series 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, Gladstone pretty much at the end of that just looked like Germany cars managing to get that 7-1 in the end. And I think that especially with some of these players that will develop, I guess, being top players in RLCS in the future, I think that finishing your game is not only in competitive, but as well as even in ranked mode. Ranked mode, I think that
kickoff goal wins against me. I'm quitting. Go next. Kickoff
Hear me out. Hear me out. There's a big difference between forfeiting, mutually forfeiting, and rage quitting and insta leaving. I think that if you're gonna rage quit,
I always love it. It's an equalizer. There's still 3.5 minutes left. It's gonna be okay. And usually we do win, but it's 2v3 after that player wins. We're gonna be going to a break. When we come back, then we'll have our 4th game of the series. It's gonna be another fun one. We have to believe. Live for the team I wanted to see is going to be taking on Newstead. On time. See, it is
He
possible.
did it.
No mistakes. BK unfired me. It's official now. Speaking on his behalf. Look, we're getting ready for our fourth match in this one. It's going to be a fun one. Lismore coming in, representing the Northern Rivers against the #1 team right now, Newstead, coming into the last day undefeated. This is going to be a tough match.
Yeah, this is the one. I'd say there's always one match every week where we got to find topics to talk about throughout the game, because even though it's a best of 3, this one could go a while, because especially with Zav, who, I mean, he scored, for you who wouldn't know, Max, he scored 11 goals in one of the games last week, and
As
then
you do.
topped it with 12 in the next. So he's one to try and beat his record every week. So he will definitely try his best to get that. Try his best to.
Yeah,
to beat that.
eyes will be on Zav for sure, and whether or not they're going to pull that one out. On the Lismore side, though, 6 wins coming into today. They would essentially have to win out for any chance to get into that top 8, and even then possibly have a little bit of luck. This is the matchup that could prove to be quite difficult for them. At the moment, though, it does look like players have arrived. We are moving over to the pitch right now to get this game underway. Again, Lismore are supposed to be in blue. I'm seeing Zach Attacker, Dark Shadow, and SPG on that side. On the Newstead, Jared, Snarly, and Peasant Shifu. So we're not actually seeing the big name today.
Yeah, Zav seems to not be playing in this one, unless Zav is Jared and he's changed his name. That's highly. I knew it. He is Zav. So
Yeah,
Jared is Zav. He's confusing us. I knew it, but I'm sure that doesn't matter anyway. I don't think it's gonna matter in the long run anyway. But I just wanted to quickly add that in that fight for top 8 at the moment, and looking at that fight at the top 8, Sweaty Fellas have actually lost their last 4 games in a row, looking to actually try and get that 8th spot. So at the moment, even though Portland lost that last game, Sweaty Fellas are struggling to get that win to put them above Portland. So Portland are holding on to that playoff position at the moment.
Fair enough, and we'll see if they'll be able to keep it together and if they can kind of like punch their way in. I would like to see a little bit, more bangs on defense, as you were saying before. Like, I know that was from the second series, but
yeah,
I think even more so from that third series. We'll see if Portland will be able to piece it together. 2-0 already in this one, and a chance to go the other way. Lismore shot saved on the line as we watch Jared, a.k.a. Zav, a.k.a.
Nice.
Double Touch Machine, 3-0.
Yeah,
I have a problem.
definitely. You have a problem.
I have a problem with this. I mean, the goal is beautiful. The goal's great. Why is he in a space station gaming car?
Yeah, I kind of thought about that as well. I mean, maybe he's trying to be Daniel. Maybe he's trying to be the new Daniel.
Why don't you want to be Banana Head? Why don't you want to be Amphis? Why not represent the OCE teams?
I mean, yeah, you might as well represent an OCE team, because you can't represent an OCE country with the flags.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Psionics. Thanks, Psionics.
That's going to be 3-0. I don't know. It said that's the Netherlands flag, I believe, right there being repped. Well, that's a topic I could see us divulging into, actually. How about that Abu Dhabi? Not just Qatar. We got the F1 race in Abu Dhabi this weekend, and I, for one, hope that Verstappen takes it to the next level and takes out Perez this time around.
Yeah. You see, Ricardo's going to be the third racer for Red Bull next season.
True.
Which, I mean, it's better than not racing at all, I guess. Because, I mean, of course, for those that follow it, he was not.
Oh, Zach has given up.
He was not going to be doing. He was not going to be on the grid for next season. But I mean, being third for Red Bull is probably better than being first for like Haas. I'd rather be on a side that's winning.
Hold on, Haas got pole in Brazil.
True.
Know.
Yeah,
but
true.
I with like again, with the way how things have kind of shaken out in that Red Bull cap, you know, the idea of
Yeah.
him getting a chance, it's more than zero, dare I say, but
Mm.
I'm just thinking, you know, everyone is looking at that Brazil race like Verstappen did Perez dirty. I see it as he was equalizing or doing his best to equalize the damage done that Ferrari did to Leclerc. So it was all in the name of sportsmanship. There's my F1 jokes out of the way. In all seriousness, though, that was one of the worst kickoffs I've seen.
Yeah, that was 5 players flying at it. it was like, I don't know if anyone's played like Overwatch 2, but like when everybody lags and they go flying off to the side and flying off screen, that's what it looks like. Everybody just flying. But yeah, I think that he's got a better chance of being to getting some races now that, you know, obviously COVID's a thing and everything else. That's a good goal from Zav. I mean, Zav spent so much time on free play that this is practically free play for him.
Yeah.
He just, like, that's a very good goal. That's a very good goal.
It's almost it was almost Pogo-esque. Like, it looked like he was looking for the Pogo, but just wound up, you know, driving it through instead.
I'll say it now that Zav's number one. Okay, I don't know how to say this in the nicest way possible. Zav's number one issue at the moment is himself. If he behaves himself and becomes, you know, good mentally, he can become a very good player. I'll tell him that now, is that he could become a top 8 player in the future. He's just got to watch his behavior. I mean, we know how much behavior matters in RLCS now. There's a lot of people watching, and I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, Foxy's usually the number one person watching that type of stuff. But if you behave yourself, that's the number one factor you need in order for these orgs to pick you up and become a good player in the future.
Absolutely. Like, if you want to be playing for a big name org, like, online demeanor and behavior is so important. And I think that's something that did get lost, unfortunately. And I do say this unfortunately. It did get lost during the early and more developmental stages of the Rocket League scene because of how small this region is. It seems strange to expect from Bubble League players to have the same kind of like demeanor and decorum and scrutiny that players from the larger regions have, but the truth of the matter, that's going to be the case. And the sooner that these players can kind of understand that and learn to adapt that professional attitude and mentality, which honestly will make them better people overall, to be quite honest. Sick double touch, by the way. The better. The better.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000 times. I've always believed that. I've always believed that that one's pitched off the post and disappears. That's been my number one. You can have as much mech and positioning. You can be the best player in the world. If you do not have the demeanor and the mental to accept everybody else in your community, then in my opinion, you will not get in those uppers.
It's not just accepting it. I do kind of feel like it has to go beyond just accepting. You have to be that role model. Like, that's the way I don't know. That's going to be a
you're right.
Eagle.
Never mind, it was saved.
Yeah, should have been.
But no, you're 100% right, especially in these type of high school environments as well. You got to remember that, I mean, especially in these high school environments, you've got teachers watching, you've got parents watching, you've got, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things where anything you say or do could come back to haunt you in the future. And I think that a lot of players and kids this age don't seem to understand. They don't seem to understand that the internet is forever and stuff will always stay on it.
And I'm going to play like a little bit of devil's advocate in this one. It's hard to understand the scope of your actions at this stage until you're taught and until you can figure it out. But that's why, hey, I'm here to kind of bang that drum, and so are you, to say, no, it is going to affect. These things are going to happen, and for better or for worse, you can't treat everything like a joke, even if it is online. There are those real-life consequences. 14-0, by the way, in this series, as it keeps, pounding forward.
Going out of control. But yeah, that's my number one thing. People know that, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're not going to get into a high org without some type of role modelship, without some type of captaincy, I guess. It's like Pioneers in a way. You can think of the players of Pioneers as all 3 players are captains. That's kind of how I've always seen it as. They're all captains of each other. They're all players that will be captains to their teammates, no matter who they are. And it's just, that's why they've become so good mentally and so good.
I hope Jimma took some notes, by the way, of that kickoff strat that we just saw from
Yeah.
the Lismore side. That was a new one. I haven't seen the triple turtle before. Didn't work, but I like the innovation. I like the attempt on it.
Yeah, that might work in like Spain or something like that. That might counter a Spanish kickoff.
True. You know what?
Because nobody would end up going for it, and you just who do I demo on a Spanish kickoff if there's nobody there?
Yeah, I like it. I like that thinking. I like that theory. 17-0, by the way, this game. If we're going to be doing the Zav sort of goal count at the moment, only sitting on 8, so hasn't gotten to the double digits yet. Still 45 seconds for that to change. And again, this is only game 1, so I hope everyone's gotten comfortable and settled.
Yeah, and Shifu's actually on 7, which would be the most that he's scored in a stream game so far this season. So, I mean, he's beaten his PB, so that's something. But yeah, Jared's definitely seeing this as Zav, sorry, is definitely seeing this as a free play session. We know that they're definitely the favorites coming into next week as well, and they're showing that.
Shout out to SPG in the Discord chat asking Zav, when are you getting signed?
I just saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
By who?
I don't know. They we are about to enter off-season silly season.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we always these type of things always happen in off-season where teams all of a sudden, we lost one series, let's change our team up. I mean, I've always been one to absolutely hate that. I don't know about you.
Yes, I agree. I think play a full year.
Yeah.
Play a full year and then assess things. That's sort of my take. A year at least, because I like it when rosters stick together. I think that's how you find the best success. I'm not going to go too into it right now, but I think there are players. There's the double. Yeah, 20, nice. I think there are players right now on top teams that I wouldn't mind seeing, possibly replaced just to see what would happen. But I don't want to. I don't want to go too deep into that right now. What I will say is Newstead up game 1.
People will clip it.
Yeah.
Because everything that Max Formal says is absolutely.
Yeah, I'm known for my accurate takes and prediction.
Unlike CJ.
Hey, you know what? Day 1, CJ was giving me all this crap about just being terrible at predictions, and then look what happened that last regional. What's that? But no, it's just I'm curious to see what new teams will come up, and I'm excited to see if the Gremlins can finally crack top 4. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I think that the funny thing is that placeholders and all that, the team is literally placeholders and everything else. I have this strong take that the next team that we'll see picked up by an org is Gremlins.
I just DM'd you the name. I'm keeping it secret from everyone if there's any change in a top team, that's what I want to see.
You know what? I agree. We'll just say that because nobody knows what it says.
Yeah, cool. That's nearly a goal straight away in this one. Again, I'm expecting another high-scoring game, but we'll see where we go from this as we'll get to the middle of the field. Caught by Jared. Another touch. Oh, from underneath, nearly a goal.
Speaking of top 8, top 16 teams, Snarly puts that one in to make it 1-0. There's that. Yeah. Bit of, let's say, a minor leak. Some news coming about me in the next couple of days.
Ooh, I like leagues.
Me. Yeah. Had a big team DM me yesterday saying they want to talk with me tomorrow.
Interesting. That's a
shaky.
Nice goal. The Batmobile putting it through.
But yeah.
I almost made a joke, and now I'm kind of happy I didn't, because that could actually turn out to be true. Because that could actually turn That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just...
No, I'm not doing RLCS mainstream. No. That is...
that was my first thought for some reason.
Yeah, true. That could end up being true. I think that's a big can of worms, that one.
Yeah, okay, fair. I don't know much about that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, that there, like that, what you just said, yeah. I don't know if they'll ever return to Rocket League. That's all I'll say.
If they do return to Rocket League, it will be similar. It wouldn't be to host a team. It would be to host tournaments.
It'd be to host tournaments. That's what I thought as well.
Yes.
Is that they will be the type of, they'll be the new Bluebirds. Does that make sense?
That makes so much. I always said they'd be the new Order, but we don't wish that on anyone. We don't.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, the old Order.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think we do need a major, not a major org, but an org to come up and say, let's do bubble tournaments. Let's try and get a major advertiser to get us weekly or fortnightly bubble tournaments. I mean, even like ODL style, draft league, for those who don't know what ODL is, those type of style tournaments where it brings more love in the community, because you're not playing with the same players every single time. That was a good goal from Shifu.
That was a really good
that's the best I've seen him score.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with a sick flick like that. It's hard though, because I feel like the cry out for bubble tournaments has been happening not just in Australia, but like it's been happening globally recently in the Rocket League scene. Things have gotten top heavy overall, and it's why when I'm constantly like asked, any advice for getting into the Rocket League scene and like maybe finding a career in that, and just in esports in general in Australia, I always advocate you get out what you put into it. So the amount of time, effort, and energy you're willing to put in is typically what you're going to be getting out at the end of the day. And I agree with you. I think more bubble scene events would be fantastic, which is why we need more of those smaller orgs like your Bluebirds, to be able to put through. What AEL is doing, fantastic in this collegiate side. The fact that they have a, regular high school and university league happening is great building blocks foundation. And we see the success, particularly in the university league, of the teams and players that do well there do go on to have success in RLCS and in that top tier echelon as well. So it does absolutely exist, but there could always be more.
Yeah, and I think that, with how successful AEL's been in the past, let's say 12 to 24 months with the University League and with stuff like that, maybe something that we've got to look into. Maybe AEL could be that type of org that can come through and say, that was about 700 flip resets before getting that one. But, maybe AEL could be that type of, with the sponsors that they have and everything else, I feel as if maybe something in the future could be. I don't want to say anything, obviously, because I know nothing about what AEL is doing. But maybe that's something in the future. Maybe they could be that type of bubble.
AEL, I think with the AEL scenes, if you're looking for something similar to Bluebirds, that's not really the gap I think AEL is going to fill. AEL does fill, again, the Scholastic ones. You have your University League. We have the High School League. I know there's been, like, a positive relationship between AEL and the Oceanic Women's League, which is starting to host more and more events, which is going to be super sick and cool to see as well. And also AEL does a lot of community events. So, like, they'll be going to smaller towns and putting together esports events for, like, local governments and the likes, which is all really cool. And, again, very grassroots, very, building,
Yep.
I think, a more stable foundation, and that's all stuff I can
Mm-hmm.
get behind. So it's not necessarily bubble scene work, but it still is providing to the esports community as a whole, and I appreciate that and obviously respect it greatly. This series, I know it says there's 2 minutes left, but because every goal adds another 20 seconds, we might have like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
This is a really good team.
Yeah. I've said that from week one. I really have. I think that they've won seasons in the past, this team, but this is definitely, even though they've won seasons in the past, this is their best chance to win a season. I know it's funny to say because they've already won seasons before, but if they play the way that we know that they can next week, nobody is going to be able to top them. The only thing I can say is that they looked a bit shaky in a couple of series last week. They did win them, obviously, because they're undefeated, but they do look shaky when playing against a team that is even to them. So I won't absolutely say that they're favourites to win next week, but if somebody does beat them, it will be a shock.
Yeah, I agree. I really like to see this team when they
Good
get
pinch.
challenged. Oh, didn't even hit the ground. That was all air all the way. 116, nice.
116 end-to-end pinch.
All right.
Yeah, didn't hit the ground.
So it is a single elim confirmed just now, by the
Yep.
way, for next week. All right.
Which
so here Yep.
does make upsets just so much bigger as well. It's just, a team that can be absolute favourites. If they have one bad game, I know they're best of fives, but just one bad game and all of a sudden you're gone straight away.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's best of 5 still the final, which might be a best of 7. So
I believe so.
So that will be a good one. Big Musty, big goal, 12-0. We continue right along. Our next match, by the way, following this, it's going to be the return of Pacific Hills up against Sheldon College. So we can have a little look into that one. Kind of expectations on that. Pacific Hills, again, kind of one of those bubble teams, but would like to see them get the win. Sheldon, on the other hand, they're just outside of that top 8, and I feel like they might be out by the time we get into our match.
Yeah, I don't think mathematically it's possible. It's been such a hard league because the teams that are getting through are teams that are about 66% win rate. You've got to have such a big win rate in this league to get into the top 8 when there's 20 teams and a few have... that's a good goal. A few have flunked out at the middle stage. So there's a lot of, I guess, buys, so they count as wins. So 66% becomes more like 50% by the end of the season. But yeah, it's just been such a competitive, definitely the most competitive high school league that we've had. And I'm glad that I am a part of this. I really am. I think that this has been the perfect time for me to start casting this stuff, because this has definitely been the best tournament we've had so far in the high school division.
You know what? I'm glad you've been a part of this as well. Genuinely. I'm glad to see this happen. I'm glad it's been going so well. I'm also kind of glad the series is coming to an end, though, because it was about as one-sided as we were expecting.
Are we out of topics yet?
Oh, no.
We talked about F1.
We haven't started talking Pokemon yet. We still have that in the bag.
Pokemon, true.
So we got that still around the... Hey, I have to ask right now, A, game, B, which starter?
For the new one?
Yeah.
The fire one.
Yeah. So I went Grass Cat. Grass Cat because I love the whole masquerade thing. I actually like, where
but it goes on 2 legs again.
I don't mind that. I like the masquerade. I think it's cool.
But it's another cat that goes from being 4 feet to 2 feet.
But it's not fighting type.
Where did its feet go?
You don't need feet. Either way, look, I think we're going to have to work this out. We're going to go to a break to get this one sorted. When we come back, though, it's going to be our final series, Sheldon versus Pacific Hills, when we return. Alrighty, here we go. It's time for our final matchup of the afternoon, evening. Is it evening yet? Nah, I'm going to stick with afternoon right now. Only 4 p.m. on a majority of the East Coast. And we've got a fun last match for you. Sheldon versus Pacific Hills. They're back looking to punch that ticket into, well, the top 8 with momentum. Sheldon looking to finish the season strongly. This could be a very one-sided game.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, here's the thing is that not only will it be a one-sided game, but we're going to have to try and find more topics about because Sheldon have 2 players. So, yeah, this all of a sudden becomes from being not so even to being magnificently not so even. So, yeah, this is one of those games like last week where you weren't here last week, but all of a sudden the team has two players.
I've done enough high school. Heck, I've even done enough of university games that I've seen this one go down. So why don't we send the players to the pitch and get this underway? We'll finish off, our final week in style. Hey, it doesn't always. I have seen upsets happen too.
I nearly saw it last week.
The one I go back to always was it was AEL University. It was Griffith versus I forget who. I want to say like a Newcastle or something like that. But the Griffith team had Paradise on it. I believe it had Lurky on it. Mm-hmm. And they were the team of 3, and they lost in the 3v2. Mostly because they spent the majority of the game trolling.
Overconfidence, yeah.
Well, I mean, they trolled pretty much all. Paradise would play a majority of the game on the opponent's side. 1-0 lead, by the way. Go.
Expect a lot of goals.
Baked potato, that was the other one.
Yeah, that's baked potato. Definitely one of the top players.
Baked potato always winds up on top teams. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's one of those players. He's like a CJ. He finds his way into these top teams, not necessarily with his knowledge of the game.
God, baked potato. You know what? I've only had dinner.
Yeah. He's a lovely person.
That's gonna be 3-0. So yeah, we're comfy. Settled. Let's talk Super Mega Baseball. No. We won't go down that route. Although, I mean, the Pokemon route is a little bit more topical, I guess. Because we were
You still got the music on, do you? You still got the music on.
Oh, like now?
I think so.
Oh. Now we don't.
We got there eventually. It's alright. Music's music.
Yep. There we go. It's off. I thought with a more chill game, we'd have the chill music environment.
True.
I worry that it may have been on the entire last series.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
Nah.
Alright, well that's good.
I'm sure if it was, BK would have said something.
BK did say something.
Yeah.
Oh well. It's fixed now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
we're good now.
worry about that.
Ooh.
Look, it's nearly 4-0. Okay,
Really?
yeah. No, okay, it was fine. So, hold on. Oh!
You probably... Did you have it on the whole time that we were...
Well, we missed the first minute and a half of this game, but it has been going live.
You had it set to...
Nice.
Nice.
I was so confused. Now it all makes sense.
That's what the issue was.
Yeah,
Nice. Lucky I wasn't doing anything on camera.
Yes. Well, I was just like slowly sinking lower and lower in my seat. Yeah. Oh no, my caster pose has been spoiled for everyone. 4-1 as Queso gets it through straight down the middle. So they had BK getting all upset at me because music was playing. Didn't even know.
Yeah,
the
didn't
truth
even.
of the situation.
Yeah, didn't even know that we had actually started.
Yeah. All right, well, 4-1 at the moment, so I hope everyone's comfy. Apologies.
Haven't missed much.
Legitimate apologies to the players whose goals we did miss. In that one, it was pretty much 3 quick, easy goals, though, from our orange side, I should say, out of Pacific Hills. They currently have 4-1 right now, 3 minutes left. Don't worry, we haven't missed any games. This is still the first game, and I got to make sure the pips actually, didn't mess up the pips. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, well.
That's professional OCE casting best. That's what you get.
That's what you. Well, it's a 2v3. It's a 2v3. But even then, no. Sheldon needs to be represented. Sheldon should get that. And they did get that 1 goal, so we don't want to count them out yet. It's just a little bit awkward. 2v3. You're out of playoff contention. Finding the motivation in situations like this can be so difficult.
Especially coming to the end of the year as well, when a lot of these players have, in my opinion, during the high school time, more things going on, like exams and that type of stuff. I always feel as if term 4 is kind of always like that, though. Even in university league, those later terms always have less players playing because of the fact that they're busy with real life things. But funny we say that, we actually had more tournament than we've ever had before.
That's just the growth, though, of the AEL High School League. But I do agree, and that's why I'm so excited to see the growth of this league continuing into next seasons, to see how many, more schools, how many more teams can come in and get involved. So we're going to see a goal from Floro right there off the kickoff. So in case you thought a comeback was happening, quick reminder, most likely it's not. But it is tough, especially, in the months of, November, when things do get serious and study does have to become that priority, to find the balance between, leisure activities and the work that you need to put in. It's a challenge. It is difficult, and it's an important balance to discover.
Yeah. It's like, for those of you who don't watch RLCS, Scrub changing to doing online school because he just couldn't have the time to go to school because he was too busy leaving the country every 2 months to go to major events.
That was, I want to say that was Super Lucky, wasn't it? Or was it Scrub who said that?
No, it was Scrub. No, it was definitely Scrub.
It was Scrub, okay. I asked the question and I don't remember who.
Super Lucky, I think, still goes to school, but he's in the same bag than what Scrub is, where he's leaving every 2 months or so to go to these places, and people wondering where they're going, and literally Scrub said, no, I'd never told the teachers where I was going or what I was doing. I just didn't show up. I'm like,
that, which is wild to me.
It sounds like me 12 years ago.
Yeah, see, I was not in that case. I did some traveling when I was in school. Don't get me wrong, I did a lot of traveling when I was in school, but teachers would always know where I was going, and I would always have to write a report about whichever country I went to. That was what they would make me do to make up for it.
Fair enough.
And again, it goes back to, being able to establish that work ethic. And obviously, school is important. And it's interesting, the different avenues that, some of these students have taken. Because I know Amphis is another one who was schoolwork and sport still came first before Rocket League in a lot of cases.
Correct.
And is still able to become one of the best players in the country. And to me, that takes a special kind of athlete to be able to do everything and keep it going full bore and to be the best in your field across the pond.
Well, imagine how professional, I mean, we know how good Amphis is, but imagine how much more professional he'd be if he actually did the opposite and put so much time into Rocket League that it took over his school time.
I think that's what's been happening. Because I think last season was the balance, and then this season...
This season he's put all his time into it, and you can definitely see.
Well, game number 1 went kind of as we expected. A couple good goals from Sheldon, actually. They got a couple breakaways there, but for the most part, Floro off kickoffs, a little bit too dominant. 1-0 lead, 1 match potentially left, unless we get the upset from the Sheldon side. Hopefully they'll be able to make this last one a bit more tightly contested. Always difficult, though, in the 2v3.
Yeah. That's the problem, especially especially when it's uneven as it is at 2v3. But they are trying, and they genuinely are getting genuine goals on the board, and that comes with having two players. You don't have that third player back.
Open net miss.
Ooh, that's
probably
won't come back to haunt them, but
we'll see.
You never know.
You never know. I appreciate the camera. It's a little detour underground. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting. Still, 4 minutes 30 on the clock. Attack being led by Floro for the time being, as they don't really have anyone to pass it to across the middle because both the other attackers were on the backboard as well.
Goes for the double, couldn't quite get it. That's in. That's in.
There's a rule
that's
one.
In.
Oh, they
that's
broke
in.
it!
That's in. No. I lied.
You know what? That's what you get for breaking a rule one.
Yeah.
Even though I think the
This
rule one
one's
is
in.
broken
No.
by the Sheldon side. Still.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure who.
The big thing we've got at the moment off stream is that round 19, the very last round, Newstead College is actually playing TCC Ghosts at the moment, with Newstead College being undefeated and TCC Ghosts being 17-1, which is the Zav versus Matthew show. I wonder how that result's going to go, because that's a big one in terms of momentum coming into next week as well. It's just such a big thing, as they're going into it 18-0. You want to be 19-0 because you don't want to lose against a team that you're competing against genuinely coming into next week. You don't want to give them that confidence.
No, yeah, exactly that. So my expectation is, from what we saw, that should be the 19-0 season. Specs gets another quick goal after Floro was able to slice one in before. This time Specs is more from above, more of a distance. No defenders in position to make the save. 2-0 lead. And again, one of the unfortunate things about this particular series right now that we're seeing in the 2v3, the kickoff strength of the team with 3 players on it is just, it's such a massive advantage. Unless you miss the ball entirely, Foxy, in which case there's a goal for Massant.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you say about that?
2-1.
Yep, that's all you say. We'll call it a ghost hit. Other major results is that we're talking about Sweaty Fellas having a row. They find a win against Lismore. So, coming to the end of the season at the moment, there's 19 games that are played in the season. Sweaty Fellas 11-8. Portland 11-8. However, because of difference of games by 1, Sweaty Fellas are above Portland. Portland go 9th.
Oh, that's...
Sweaty Fellas at the moment, unconfirmed, will be in the playoffs.
That 1 game difference could be brutal. But that's the nature of competition, is all what I can say right there. And that's why every game is important. And that's why I will always... I haven't seen it here today. I have not seen this here today, but there are other events where I've seen teams intentionally kind of, ease up to play an extra game or two. Always comes with risk. Always comes with risk.
Yeah, because you go by set wins, I guess, and different set wins. According to the challenge, which is what they use at the moment, Sweaty Fellas are 8th, Portland and 9th after 19 games played. So unless there are changes to said bracket, the tiebreaker at the moment says, 1. So it looks like the tiebreaker goes to Sweaty Fellas. And I said that, that those games matter so much. It looks like Sweaty Fellas winning their final game of the season has put them in. Also, other news, Newstead versus TCC. Newstead win 2-1 in the series. And Newstead go undefeated for the entire season 19-0.
What? 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 What?
What just happened?
I think. Remember I was talking about like easing up. I think that was a situation where they were trying to ease up to get the slowest goal possible and wound up giving
And they
the goal
screwed
away.
it.
Yeah. That's what it looked like what happened to me, because they were trying to score, but they wanted the slowest goal possible. Oh, this could be a good shot, though. That's one of the faster ones. Unfortunately, it's off the post. Under a minute left, but yeah, Newstead undefeated.
Yeah.
Woo. I mean,
Well
they
deserved.
are a good team. They are a very good
Well
team.
deserved. I think that, you know, not only are they undefeated, but because of beating TCC Ghosts, it means that they were undefeated and the next team was 17-2. So they actually won the season by 2 whole games, which in this season with 20 teams and a lot of even teams going undefeated but winning the season by 2 as well is massive for their confidence. They're going to be huge for confidence coming up to next week, especially playing against 8th on the ladder.
Yeah, they're going to have a good start coming into the playoffs. And again, the expectation for that team is going to be to have the perfect season, never dropping a series. For this series, though, it is come to its end, and it is going to get dropped right here. Lem will finish us off with an own goal, as you always should. 3-2, our scoreline. 3-0, our series scoreline. Pacific Hills gets the win over Sheldon.
And that's the end of the group stage. After weeks of action, we've finally gone through 19 matches throughout the season. It's been topsy-turvy. It's been a lot of fun. Newstead go undefeated. I think we should have a little bit of a recap of which teams are going to go to the playoffs. So we got Newstead 19-0. TCC goes 17-2. Linwood goes 17-2. Then you've got Brass 3, which went 16-3. St. Francis de Sales, which we didn't see today, but are very consistent and could be that upset team coming into the playoffs, 16-3. Bookie Boys 14-5. Gladiators 12-6. And Sweaty Fellas just get through on the skin of their teeth. 11-8 will be in the playoffs next week against Newstead.
Whew. I mean, there's a lot of good teams there, a lot of tight competition. I mean, it really feels like from 2 down to 6, any of those squads can be competitive enough to get to the final. Because of the brackets, though, well, tough luck for 4 and 5. You're going to have to deal with Newstead a little bit earlier. On that note, though, it is the end of the round stages, and it is the end of our games today. One more time, though, before we do start to sign off, Foxy, I believe we should get another little throw to some of our beautiful sponsors.
Yes, of course. Our wonderful, wonderful sponsors, including Acer Predator Gaming. Discover your next favorite game. Play over 100 high-quality games with your new Acer and Predator Gaming Windows 11 PC and 1 month of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. We've also got ViewSonic, an education partner. They are the ones giving away the prize as well, the $9,000 prize, the My View board. Upgrade your classroom today with ViewSonic's large format interactive displays and the My View board software suite. So thank you to ViewSonic for that. AOC Monitor, the gaming monitor partner. Get the best gaming experience with their range of gaming monitors. And Rig Gaming, the gaming headset partner. Experience great sound with Rig's gaming range of headsets. So thank you all to our sponsors, who I'm sure we'll see next week as well in the big, big grand finale.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one for sure. You're not going to want to miss it. Single elim, top 8 teams, only one will get that big, sick ViewSonic view board. But on behalf of myself and Foxy, a big thank you to all the schools who have competed and unfortunately came up just short in making it to that top 8. We do hope to see you again next season. A thank you to everyone behind the scene, even if you're, okay, if you're going to pull that out, 1 sec. 1 sec.
Oh, no.
Yeah, where is it? Where is it? There you are.
Where is he?
All right,
There
the better starter from the better gen. I can somehow pop this one
don't
on my
know.
corner right there. Here we go. On that note, though, yeah, it was a fun one today. We look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. Yep, goodbye with that one. And catch you all out there. See ya.